Open your book to page 442. This lesson is on logarithm. Logarithm is an inverse function of exponents. So just like multiplication and division, they are inverse of each other. So if you multiply by 3, then you divide by 3, it will cancel out the effect, right? And same thing, addition and subtraction are inverse of each other. If you plus 3, then minus 3, you cancel out the effect, right? So same thing, okay? So if you have the exponent and a log, they will cancel out the effect. Or if you have a log and exponent, they will cancel out the effect. Okay? So the form is this. So if you look on page 443, on the very top, okay, you have a log base b of n equal to k. So when you write the logarithm, again, make sure that you write in a subscript. Imagine that that's a cross like that. Okay, so it should be like on opposite corner. Okay, so again, if we're able to draw the cross, that's where the base should be. Okay, so write it clearly. And same thing with exponent, right? We covered that before, right? Now, this is how you convert back and forth between the log and the exponents. So when you convert, right? See that this is the base. So the base will stay. So you just go straight down. So base stay where it is. Okay, so do not move the base. The other two variable will be just crisscross. They will switch. Remember, inverse function is what? You're switching x and the y, right? So inverse function is when you switch x and the y. So using that concept, when you're going to convert from log to exponent, they are inverse function each other. So you're going to just switch the two letters. So the k will go over here. Okay, and then n will go over here. Okay, so base always stay. So do not move the base. Okay, so again, when the exponents and logarithm, they are inverse function of each other. Okay, again, inverse function means you're switching x and the y, right? So over here, when you're going to switch from log to exponent, you keep the base and you just switch. Think of this as like x and the y. You just switch the two. Okay. And if you're going to switch back over there, again, if you're going to switch back over there, then you're going to, so exponent become log. Again, the base stay. Okay, the base stay. The base never move. Okay, again, just switch the two, right? Again, you switch. So that's how you switch back and forth between the log and the exponents. The base always stayed, and you just switch like x and the y. You just switch the two letters. That's how you switch back and forth. Okay. Okay. So now again, if you look at some of the basic things you need to know, like up here. Okay. So let's go over some of this stuff. So if you look at the first one, it says log base b of b to the k. This will equal to k. See, what happens is when you have a log of the exponent, right? This is the exponent. So you have log of the exponent with the same base, they will cancel out the effect. Okay, and therefore you get, that's why it's equal to k. Okay. So again, when you have log of the exponent with the same base, it will undo the effect of each other, so it will cancel out, and it becomes k. That's where the k came from, because they cancel out. Right? And if you go to the next one, so you got b exponent of the log. Again, when you have the exponent of a log of the same base, it cancels out the effect. So this will equal to, again, they will cancel out, so it will be equal to n. And the next one, you got log b of b. This is equal to 1. Okay? Because again, they cancel out the effect. So when you you know, if you have the a times 1 over a, you get 1, right? Reciprocal. Yeah, reciprocal each other by inverse. And another one you need to know is log base b of 1 equal to 0. Right? Again, this is kind of obvious because if you convert, right? If you convert, you're going to get b to the 1 power equal to b, right? This one you get b to the 0 power equal to 1, right? Right? Again, if you convert the base, remember how we do this? You switch, right? See, that's where it came from. Okay, see that? Okay, like this one over here. If you convert, you're going to get b to the 1 equal to b, right? right? B to the 1 equal to B. So that's where they came from. Right? You're just going to do the converting, right? Crisscross. Okay. So let's go and do some practice. Let's go with some examples. Okay. Let's do examples. So let's go to page 443, and let's do example 1. A. So you have a log base 5 of 25 equal to 2. You want to write it in exponential form. Okay. So you want to convert. Remember what I said, right? The base always stay, right? Do not move the base. That way you will never get confused. So the base always stayed. And again, remember, when you're switching, right? You're finding the inverse function. And inverse function, you're switching x and the y. So basically, you have to switch the x and the y. So it becomes 2 over here and 25 over here. See? And that's how you convert to different form. Okay. So now let's go to the B. You have a log base 10 of 0.001 equal to -3. You're going to convert into exponential form. Again, the base always stay, right? Then you're going to switch x and the y. So it becomes -3 power equal to 0.001. Okay, and that's it. So that's how you convert from log to exponential form. Now let's go to example 2. You're going to do it the other way around now. So example 2, you have 8 to the -2 over 3 power equal to 1 over 4. And you're going to convert to log form. Again, the base will never move, right? So you're going to convert to log form. And you're just going to switch the two numbers. And that's it, right? Switch. Because inverse function, it should switch x and the y. So the exponent form and the log form, they are inverse of each other. So you just switch the two numbers. Again, the base always stay in the same place. You don't move the base. And that's it. Okay, now let's go to B. You have 5 to the 3 over 2 power. It's equal to 5 square root of 5. So you want to convert the exponential form to the log form. So this would be, so you can hit your base. So log base 5 of 5 square root of 5 equal to 3 over 2. Right? Again, here's the base. And the exponent goes over here and the number goes over here. Right? Again, so again, you just switch x and the y. Okay? So we did the inverse last time, right? Okay, now let's go to example 3. It says you want to evaluate log base 7 of 49. Okay, you want to figure out what it's equal to. The way to do it is, since that's what you want to evaluate. So you want to go and set it equal to x. That way you can move things around and you still, can keep track of what you're looking for. So always set it equal to x or whatever variable. Then after you can just move things around. Okay. So now the key to evaluate all this kind of function is just go ahead and change form. If it's log form, try to change into exponential form. If it's exponential form, try to change to log form, and you're able to evaluate. So this is going to become 7 to the x equal to 49. I can just change form, right? You switch. Again, remember, look over here. The base never move, right? The base stay, and you just switch the two numbers. And after that, you go ahead and change this into, to the base 7, right? So 49 is 7 squared, and all you do is just matching. So you match, you get x equal to 2. Okay, and that's it. Okay, now let's go to B. You have a log base 2 of 8 square root of 2. So again, you set it equal to x, then you change form. And then after that, since this is base 2, you want to change everything into base 2 to match. So you got 2 to the x equal to, this is 2 to the 3, this is 2 to the 1/2. So you got 2 to the x equal to 2 to the 3 and the 1/2. So x equal to 3 and the 1/2. Now you can use 7 over 2, that's fine. Okay, now let's go to C. You have 3 log base 3 of 7. Now remember, the exponent of the log of the same base will cancel out. So if you know that, the answer will be 7 already. Okay. Now if you don't get that, that's fine. You can just follow the same thing. You set it equal to x, and then after that you go ahead and that's going to do the switching. So this is the exponential form. So let's change into log form. Right? The exponential form change in log form, and the base name will move, right? So you move this over here, this becomes x, and this move over here, right? And then you go and do the matching. You can see it over here that x has to equal to 7, right? Just plain matching. Okay. Or if you know what we're talking about earlier, the inverse functions, this one over here, this one over here, this one here. Right? They will cancel effect, right? So you can do that. So either way, so if you know it, if you don't, you just have to do extra step to do that. Okay, now let's go to example 4. For A, solve each equations. So you got log base 5 of x equal to 3. So same thing, you're just going to change form. So you're going to get 5 to the 3 equal to x. Right? Again, base always stay. Keep the base in the same place, and when you change the form, you switch the x and the y. Right? Switch the two numbers. Okay. Then after that, you evaluate. So x equal to 125, and that's it. Okay, now let's go to B. You have a log base x of 81 equal to 4. So again, if you have a log, all you have to do is change into exponential form. Right? You just change the form and do the matching. So log form, it becomes exponential form. So base always stay, and you switch the number. Then after that, you make this into. You can just raise to 1/4 power, but you also can. You can just raise to 1/4 power to get rid of that, but you also can do this way. You just make into 3 to the 4th power, and by do the matching, you can see x equal to 3. So this is one way of doing it. Another way to do it is when you have x to the 4 equal to 81, you just raise it to 1/4 power, raise to 1/4 power. So x equal to, and you have to change this again, right? You do the same thing, right? And again, you get the same answer. So again, there are many ways you can do this. Okay, so both method is fine. Okay. So again, the key, that's somewhat what we're talking about. So for the log function, the logarithm is the inverse of the exponent. So to evaluate or to solve, you just need to know how to change the form. If it's log form, you change to exponential form. If it's exponential form, you change to log form, and you can do the matching, or you can do whatever algebraic method you need to do to solve. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some practice.